Okay, well, welcome. We are Greg and Meta Warmbier out of Sarasota, Florida. We are super excited to be talking with you today, welcoming people from around the world. We got people, it seems like almost every continent on here, which is pretty exciting. So this meeting is being recorded. It's live on YouTube, so we're sending the recording out later. But what we're going to do is kick off this pretty quickly because we got a lot of stuff to share today. I'll have Mena kick it off. This is my beautiful wife, Mena.
Yes, so welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us we're presenting from Florida, USA. So grateful to have all of you on here. And for those of you who brand new, please put in the chat who invited you. Make sure you get back with that person. And then if you are on here and you see someone that you've invited and they haven't put their name in the chat, please let us know because you want to get back with them and follow up. So we are not medically trained. My name's Mena. Originally born in South Africa, and Greg Warmbier. So we're not medically trained. We're not here to tell you that this product is going to cure or heal or mitigate any condition you have, but we do know that sharing for the last 3 years, the results that we've seen are too good not to go out there and continue to share this product with people. We are just blown away. We feel it's our social responsibility to share something good when we come across it. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do this presentation. It's going to be parts, product, the company, and who the founder and inventor is and what the product has helped with. And then we're going to transition to the opportunity. Now, some of you may be on here and you're saying, I don't want anything to do with the opportunity. That's great. Just get all the information you need and then get back with the person that invited you. But thank you once again for being on. We appreciate it. And put questions in the chat if you have any questions.
Yep. So one thing is interesting. We talk about, once again, the product itself. This is what's called a sleeve. It's got 30 of these amazing patches in there. This is known as a stem cell activation patch. It looks like, I always say, it looks like a communion wafer almost. It's so small. It's about the size of a quarter or 5 Rand coin, depending on where you're from. And the one thing that we didn't really know anything about the company, knew a little bit about the product. And a friend of mine told me about this. He goes, you should really try this. And I said, yeah, I want to try anything because I had a car accident back in 2016 where someone didn't use their brakes and they plowed into the back of my car going about 60 miles an hour or about 100 kilometers an hour, depending on where you are from around the world. And they basically, I was at a standstill. Then that pushed me in the van in front of him, then pushed me in the truck in front of them. So my car became an accordion, and unfortunately, so did my spine. Damaged my neck, my shoulder, my back. So my whole life changed that day. Unfortunately, then with chiropractors, acupuncture, acupressure, every kind of CBD essential oils, supplements, stim kind of things, everything I did for years and years and years, still suffered from all kinds of ailments. And then I injured my knee several years later that affected my right hip. So I had 5 areas of challenges, and my friend told me about this. I said, I'll try anything. He told me how it worked, and we're going to share a little bit more about that. Well, the crazy part is I put the patch on 12 hours a day for 3 days. So basically put it on for 9 in the morning, took it off at 9 o'clock at night, did that 3 days in a row. And on the 3rd day, I had no more issues. I'm like, what in the world's going on? No more problems with my knee, my hip, my shoulder, my neck, my back. I'm like, what in the world is this? How does this work? Because when something's going on in your body and you realize it's no longer there, it's like, what's going on here? So for about 2 hours, I researched the information and was blown away. So we're going to share some of that information with you today. We now have business all over the world because we can't stop sharing this amazing product. And again, what it actually does. And we know that our bodies are meant to heal, but when you start unlocking things in your body, the one thing you do is you start seeing massive results, and we'll start talking about that. So the very first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna play a quick video that explains more in 3 minutes than I can explain in 30 minutes, even though I talk fast. Watch this video, take lots of notes because this is powerful. So check this out.
In a world searching for answers, one discovery is changing everything. A patch, no bigger than a quarter, built not to treat symptoms, but to wake up the healer inside you. This is X39, a wearable, light-activated patch. Designed by David Schmidt, an inventor with over 200 patents. His mission? To reverse aging naturally. This isn't science fiction. It's stem cell activation without injections, without pills. Your body repairing itself. The results? Life-changing energy, recovery, sleep, relief. And the medical world? It's taking notice. Still skeptical? visit thisisitinfo.com. You'll find the studies, the patents, the proof. It's all there. But there's more. This tiny patch isn't just transforming lives, it's creating freedom. Because behind it is a business model built for the bold. Real people, real results. Income that scales with impact. And here's why. Because this breakthrough technology is patented and exclusive, it offers a lucrative business plan that allows you to compound your efforts. More people than ever are struggling in today's economy. You can no longer rely on your own sweat equity alone to make a living. This business model allows you to duplicate yourself and, even better, to benefit from other people's efforts. So your income no longer depends solely on you. By duplicating yourself over and over, the income potential is far greater than a conventional job, career, or profession. And you're never alone. The This Is It system gives you the tools, the path, the team. All you have to do is start. The question is no longer if it works, it's whether you'll act or let this moment pass. Will you keep waiting or finally feel your body come alive again? Will you stay financially stuck or build something that lasts? Isn't it time to start living life on your own terms? The This Is It action plan will set you on a path to live out the dreams you have for your family. Get back with the person who shared this video so you can experience the age-reversing health and the exciting lifestyle that thousands are already enjoying. This is the technology, this is the team, and this is your moment. This is it.
That is such a powerful video, not only because it shares obviously a little bit about the technology, but the team they're a part of. And the thing I love about it, those pictures are just not like, those are people that we know. They're our great friends, our business partners. So again, we're going to share a little bit more about this. And so the first thing we want to ask people is, have you been patched yet? Because if you haven't been patched, you definitely want to get this product. It's changing lives around the world. It's one of the things we did is we started researching this, and I found out more about the company, about David Schmidt. And David Schmidt is the CEO inventor of X39. He's got over 200 patents, as you heard in the video. He's a scientist and inventor specializing in age reversing. I always say thank God for people like this, right? That take their time, their energy, their talent, their gifts to make us be better people overall, live happier, healthier, longer lives, right? And in 2008, he started to focus attention on stem cell research. And this one product, the X39, took basically 10 years, $4.5 million worth of research development to come up with. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So my wife was very skeptical. Then I showed her the website and it showed the patent. That's when she said she took a look at it a little bit more.
Yeah, so I was extremely skeptical. I wanted nothing to do with anything. We had a lot going on at the time that we were approached, and that our friend Ken Burke and Diana Burke shared this product with us. We had so many things going on, and I didn't want to know anything about it until Greg's results, and his result actually was undeniable, because, when you live for 6 years and someone is moaning and groaning about their pain absolutely every single day, all day, and then that suddenly stops, I was like, okay, something's going on here. And then his doctor confirmed that there was, that he didn't need to be adjusted any longer, because he was in perfect, he was in homeostasis. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I have fear of missing out. So I was like, maybe I should look at this website. And I went and took a look at the website, and I saw this patent. And I understand patents as an attorney. You don't get a patent on a product unless it's one of a kind. And also you can't make certain statements in this legal document unless you've proved it to be true. And so I did a little bit of research, and I'm glad that I did. And I saw this particular paragraph, which really stood out for me initially. It was the first thing that I was like, oh, if it could help reduce inflammation, that's something I need. So this particular paragraph, we highlighted especially for you, and it says embodiments as a result of elevating copper peptide, including activation of stem cells, improvements in energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction in inflammation, management of pain, improvements in stamina, elevation of collagen production, another one that I took note of, improved wound healing. I said, oh my goodness, Well, you know what? It says those things. I need some of that, so let me. I didn't want to miss out. He was having great results. I wasn't going to be left behind. So I jumped on board, and I'm grateful that I did. This patent was registered in July 2020. So 5 years running on this patent so far. It's got another 15 years to go.
Yeah, and it was interesting. So see, the first thing that this helped with was her hearing. Her ears didn't hurt anymore from me complaining so much. It's true. I mean, it's crazy. When you're in pain all the time, it's a little nutty. So the thing that I never researched, I never really looked at, I was looking at getting stem cell injections, which are very expensive. I was looking at flying to a different country to basically spend tens of thousands of dollars to get that done. And then when I saw this and I realized that they talked about your stem cells actually start basically deactivating over time or becoming more and more dormant. So you think about as children grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, well, the stem cells are basically replicating and repairing and fixing and growing all the organs and everything in our body. And then when you stop growing, basically they start going dormant. And by the time you're 30, you have half the stem cell activity you had when you're younger. And by the time you're 60, they said you maybe got 5 to 10%, maybe depending upon your lifestyle, what you eat and stuff like that. But I did realize that as I was aging, I really felt it. When I was, 3 years ago, before using this patch, I felt like I was in my 60s. I hate to say going into my 70s. Now I feel like I'm in my 30s going into my 20s, and I'm 55 now. And I'm not kidding. When you start feeling the difference, your stem cells are activating. It's amazing, what happens. So do you want to talk about
Yes, so how does X39 work? It's a proprietary form of phototherapy. A lot of us have heard of light therapy. It's patented nanocrystal technology. It reflects our own light and heat from our own body to actually activate the nanocrystal technology in the patch. There's no drugs, no chemicals, no stimulants, non-invasive, and we do make disclosures. LifeWave products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease or medical condition.
Yeah, and we all experience phototherapy every day. So we live in the Sunshine State here in Florida. I go outside and the sun's rays basically hit our skin, which is our biggest organ in our body. So you understand what it does is the rays of light hit our skin and elevate things in our body, like vitamin D, right? So you think about things like vitamin D. People say, I get vitamin D from the sun. It's not pushing out vitamin D. It's pushing out a frequency of light that interacts with our skin that elevates that. So the same thing with the patch are basically our body's heat and light. If I put night vision goggles on, we all glow in the dark, right? So what happens, we're emitting heat and light 24/7. Well, the light from that hits the patch, reflects back in a specific frequency that elevates and activates GHK copper peptides that activate your stem cells, increase collagen levels, decrease inflammation, and a lot of other things besides that. And it's amazing, how it works.
So the benefits of X39, very excited when I saw this because we've experienced everything on here. Increased strength, reduced inflammation, increased stamina, energy and vitality, mental clarity, restored muscle and skeletal conditions, improvement of sleep, a big one for me. And I'm just going to share that quickly. For the longest time, I never slept. I thought it was just the way I was going to have to live my life because, my brain just races at night when I put my head on the pillow. As a lawyer, you just worry about everybody's problems. And so I couldn't fall asleep. And when I did fall asleep, if I heard just the slightest noise, I would wake up. And then I couldn't go back to sleep again. So that was my life. And like I said, I thought that would just be the way that it has to be. I wasn't even thinking about that because like I told you, I saw the patent, I saw that the inflammation reduction was highlighted for me. But a week and a half after using the product consistently, I had the most amazing sleep and I was forever grateful. It was just like, I've never experienced this before. It's such good sleep.
Yes.
I woke up energized. I woke up just feeling like I had slept, and I was dreaming. I remembered my dreams and I felt really, really good. And I thought it was maybe just a one-time thing, but it's been for 3 years now. No matter where if it's a hotel, if it's a plane, if it's my own bed, wherever I'm at, I put my head on the pillow and I sleep through the night. And even if I need to get up to go to the restroom, I get back in bed and I'm fast asleep straight away. So such a blessing to have good sleep. And the thing is, when you don't sleep, your body hurts. Yeah. You get ill. You need a rest. So thank God for that improved skin appearance. We're seeing that a lot from friends and people around us. They're taking befores and afters, and the results are phenomenal. David talks about achieving optimal health a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being.
Yeah, and we could have pages and pages and pages. This is one example of just some different things. But how many people you know that drink energy things, right? Could be coffee in the morning, could be energy drinks, could be taking pills, all kinds of stuff like that. All of this stuff, we don't, once again, we talk about collagen powders and stuff. We don't have to use those things anymore, which is pretty amazing. We'll talk, a little bit more about that. But it's awesome, again, even showing the different results from a topography map.
Yes, so this is a topography map, and David wanted to show inflammation in a woman's brain. He selected a participant, a 77-year-old woman, and he asked her to wear the X39 at the back of her neck on the C7, and he told her to be consistent in that way, because when you do any trials, you want to be consistent. The one thing he did tell her to do is obviously to stay hydrated and add some additional electrolytes. And session 1, the scan is taken prior to putting the X39 on, and you can see a lot of reds, a lot of bright colors there. David explains it. He says it's inflammation in her brain, a lack of brain coherence, because those brain cells are not active. They are dormant. They're not doing what they should be doing. Session 2, only 3 weeks later, the same lady doing just what David told her, put the patch on and stay hydrated. A lot of those bright colors are no longer there. So there's no more inflammation there. It's definitely improved brain coherence. And, that could be things like fear is no longer an issue, anxiety, no more PTSD, things like that. Forgetfulness. A lot of people talk about forgetting as they get older, and they think, this is just the way it's supposed to be. No, we don't. We can help our bodies. So session 2, just 3 weeks later. Session 3, only 6 weeks later. It's balanced. You can see even the blues and those hues there at session 2 are now evenly spread in that scan. So there's been a complete turnaround and better brain coherence. And David was asked some questions, and he made the statement. He said, if they scanned every organ in her body, it probably would have appeared like her organ or her brain at session 1.
Yeah, and that's amazing. So they had all these different ones. Even the guy who was doing these scans, he said, "I've never seen anything like this." They usually things they do take months or years to make changes. This basically within 6 weeks is pretty amazing. So there's a lot of long-term results you can take a look at. So basically the case studies are on thisisitinfo.com. We'll mention that several times, but go to thisisitinfo.com. And what he talks about, the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset to a younger, healthier state. Now, I still don't understand this, but I heard of things like resveratrol that's in red wine that resets genes, and they got that in a lot of hero products today. A lot they call it hero products. They're basically supplements and stuff like that. Well, that resets 2 genes. This resets 4,000, just a little bit of a difference. And so your body goes into like a reboot. Like I just uploaded the new iOS a few days ago, and it's been locking up a little bit here and there. So what do? I reboot my phone. And that's what the same thing, your body goes into this reboot and basically starts going into homeostasis, which is amazing. So just like Mena showed, within 6 weeks, your brain becomes balanced. Within 3 months, collagen levels increase 200, 300, 400%. So like I said, we used to do collagen shots and drinks and powders and all kinds of stuff like that. Imagine naturally doing that. Your hair, your skin, your nails, but your body's made up of collagen. It's very, very important, obviously, with that as far as for reverse aging. We'll talk about that. And within 6 months, your heart reverses in age dramatically. So again, we've seen a lot of people with heart conditions actually get better and better and better from a cardiovascular standpoint as well. So that's why David Schmidt says it's not anti-aging, it's age reversing. That is a pretty bold statement, but he backs it up scientifically. This is just a snapshot of a few things, but if you understand, you start using this, you're like, what? Where has this been my whole life? That was like me. Pretty amazing, pretty awesome.
So how do we wear the patch? You wear the patch 12 hours on and 12 hours off. So if you're sleeping at night, you take it off at night. If you're working at night, you want to, take the patch off during the day when you do sleep. And because you need to rest, to repair and rejuvenate at night, then throw the patch away. You can put a new patch on the next day. Well, you should be putting a new patch on the next day.
Yes.
And drink plenty of water. Make sure you add some additional minerals to your water, like electrolytes. People are also just eating more watermelon, some coconut water, also
Avocados.
avocados and cucumbers as well, or Celtic salt. I use quite a bit of Celtic salt. I add it to my water and I drink it like that. So stay hydrated and make sure you're adding those additional minerals.
Yeah, and get back to the person. I think it give you some different suggestions, including some new things that we have that's available, which is very, very cool. So the one thing we do know is that the testimonies are absolutely amazing. That once again, this product is sophisticated, but yet very simple to explain. It's like, as I tell people, if you ever used a Band-Aid, or use it what they say in South Africa, plaster, it's called peel, stick, put it on, and you keep on going, right? But the testimonies, once again, are truly emotional. And that's one thing that we're going to share a couple things today. But the best thing we know about X39, it absolutely works. Now, sometimes it takes days, sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes it takes months. The one thing we know is they said the rule of thumb is for every decade that you're alive, you should be using at least 1 month's supply. And this is basically a sleeve is a 30-day supply, so a 1 month supply. So if I'm 55, I should be using it 5 to 6 months. If you're 70 years old, you should be using 7 to 8 months, right? If you're 30, 3 to 4 months. So, but that's what they say is a minimum of 90 days, because 97% of people get significant differences or significant improvements within 90 days, 97%. So you want to use a bare minimum 90 days. So we tell people once I give it some time. I know my results were in 3 days, but that was just the beginning. I had tons of results after that. We'll talk a little bit more about that. So our doctors using this, people say, yes, we could introduce you to thousands of doctors around the world that are utilizing this. And this is just an example of one here, actually here in Tampa, Florida, that he's actually a specialist. He's an MD, plastic surgeon, pretty well qualified, has people flying in from around the world, and he focuses on facial plastic surgery. That's what he focuses on. And Lily, he said the normal time for recovery from the facial plastic surgery is 6 to 8 weeks, normally a month and a half to 2 months for the recovery. I got a friend of a friend who actually used him and said it was closer to like to 10, 11 weeks. So everybody is different, but he said on average, that's what he's seen. So he heard about the wound healing properties of this, and he said, you know what, I bet this would help people heal faster. Well, he was blown away. Now he says this a sleeve ahead of time, 30 days prior to the procedure, and then make sure they have others extra afterwards. And what's interesting is they start using the patch, and so they start doing that, and other people start going, you know what, doc, I'm sleeping better, right? They're going, I'm a better focus. I no longer have brain fog. My knee doesn't hurt anymore. They start talking about, is that cause of the patch? He's like, yeah. He says, it's also going to help you healing. Now, think about this. The difference of the time is now 7 to 10 days is the same results that used to take 6 to 8 weeks. Do you think he's using this now? He goes, if you want to work with me, you must use this product. Do you guys know any plastic surgeons? We want to talk to them. So anyway, pretty awesome. So talking about another doctor, this is Dr. Leland Stillman, who's actually down in Naples, Florida. Another one, I'm just picking on a couple doctors. We can show dozens of these just in our area here. But the interesting part about it, he's an expert in photobiomodulation. It's called phototherapy. So he basically's got these red light therapy beds and all these different things he uses for red light and different therapies and stuff like that. And he looked at this and says, what's this tiny patch going to do? And you might be thinking the same thing. But then he started researching and goes, okay, wait a minute. He goes, the stuff that he does is very high level intense therapy for basically light therapy for, 10, 15, 20 minutes at a time, right? And this is basically 12 hours, low level stimulation. He goes, I bet it'll work in conjunction. He goes, this is amazing. He said, it works better than 90%. He said, you need to use this. So he said, if you want to work with me as a doctor, guess what? His protocol is now you must be using this product as well, because the results are just phenomenal. So you can research it on the This Is Info and watch the interview itself. But we look at other things. We could have so many of these different testimonials, so many different pictures, but this is like day 1, day 42, day 355. And I tell people all the time, do this yourself. And we wish we would have done this, right? And we should be still be doing it, because we're seeing people that we've known for 3 years in the business, and they're looking younger and younger every time we see them. Now, if you don't notice a difference there, how about now? If you don't notice the difference between her for day 1 and what she's like now, this will help with your eyesight as well. It's pretty amazing. So other things you take a look at. What about this guy? How about he fell through the rafters, fell through the ceiling, broke 6 ribs, punctured his lung. They said you probably be back to work minimum 6 weeks, because he's out of work. Really, he was using the patch already. And look at the difference here from the 17th to the 23rd. Pretty big difference. Look at the 30th. This is a 13-day difference. That's not even 2 weeks. He was back to work within 3 weeks, because of something that's actually making him heal like he was when he's like 8 years old. And that's what's amazing. So when you think about other things like skin conditions, my wife had horrible skin conditions. When she moved from South Africa here to the United States, she had all kinds of allergies.
That's not my hands.
That's not her hands, no. It's not.
But I did. I had terrible allergies. Honestly, one thing after the other, and I thought, this is ridiculous. Like, do I really want to be in Florida? It was horrible. And I had to wear gloves all the time, because my fingers were blistering in between, the digits. So
red, itchy,
it was horrible. They were like inflamed because they were hot and itchy and just painful. And I just tried absolutely everything. I was in and out of the dermatologist's office, and I honestly am like blown away. No more problems. Like
Yeah.
I had this topical cortisone cream that I would carry around with me just in case I had a flare. And I'm blown away. Like just
Mhm.
the other day I was saying, I haven't seen that stuff. It just doesn't affect me anymore.
Praise God.
You know,
Yeah.
and such a blessing.
And now I
Such
can
a
hold her hands
blessing.
without her saying, Stop holding my hands. This is bothering me. Now we're walking to church
You
some
raised
months
my
ago,
window is
and we're
I'm
swinging
getting
our
all
hands,
wet.
hands back and forth, basically like this. She goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I can hold your hand again. I can hold your hand again." So, but you look at the differences. I mean, this is a real life person. So you talk about miracles happening, same person, it wasn't that much longer. So you look at people with serious things like vertigo. You might have heard or seen people that have challenges like this. Look at the difference after 3 months. And again, we have updates of this, which is pretty amazing. This is, you want to talk about our good
Yeah,
friend.
so my good friend, we met them a few years ago before we found out about this amazing patch.
Through church. Yeah.
And she had her issue. You can see a lot
Yeah.
of balding patches, no hair growing, and she told me about it. And her way of addressing that was wearing wigs and hats so that
Yeah.
nobody could see. And I didn't know that until she told me. She hid it quite well. And in Florida, to wear a hat it's hot out here.
With a wig.
So
Yeah.
and it's also it's hot to wear that in Florida
Yeah.
as well. But she was wearing it, and then when we found out about this product, I thought to myself, I wonder if this would help her. And so I told her about it because she was trying steroid injections, every pill, every potion, everything that was out there. And I showed her the website because I don't explain anything to people. I'm not the scientist. I didn't create this. So we have a website that we use, we share with everyone. And she looked at the website and she said, I've tried everything, so I might as well try this. And you can see for yourself the before and after picture of her head. And so she's forever grateful. She uses the patch, obviously, because it's healing her from the inside out, and it shows on the outside.
Yeah, and this is just, and we could go on and on. Well, the last one I'm going to share with you real quick is the one that was actually blew our mind because we had a friend who actually, a friend of theirs actually suffered severely from Parkinson's. Again, we can never make any guarantees. We're just sharing a testimony of something that happened. And what he said, I remember him being on the phone, and he basically said, "I'll try anything." And literally, 4 days later, once he started using the patch, after 4 days, his wife calls, her friends up, screaming and crying, going, "Oh my gosh!"
They're on here.
Oh, they are.
Anne and
Yeah.
Graham.
Yeah. So they said, basically screaming and crying, saying, "Oh my gosh!" She goes, "My husband's a different person. What's in this thing?" And so it's amazing the differences. He could hardly feed himself. He could hardly shave. There's a lot of things he couldn't even do. And so we had him on a video. If you ever want to see that, we can send it to you. But then we saw a post several months ago where she said, Lifeway patches and the grace of God, we live daily in awe of miracles in our lives. He's now water skiing. He's living his best life. He's back riding horses, driving cars, riding his motorcycle, all the kind of stuff he could never do before. Now, we can't make guarantees or anything, but you just see the differences that it can make by utilizing something like this. Is pretty amazing. So we're going to share just another quick little video again of four basically doctors. This is like an hour-long interview, but we're just taking the last 4 minutes of it, kind of highlighting the last 4 minutes of it. I want you to kind of watch this real quick because you can hear from other people that, once again, see people with ailments every single day. So check this out.
Dr. Dodge, what about you? What makes this special?
I think really echoing that, this is the most powerful piece of medical technology I've come across in my practice, and that's over 20 years. So I think being able to reverse and see the testimonies of reversal of aging, reversal of disease that are otherwise untreatable, or that people and other doctors even give up on. This is new hope. It's new hope in the form of a patch that is so simple to offer if you're a healthcare professional, but you don't even have to be. A friend or a family member can begin to offer this to other friends, family members. So harnessing the power of the stem cells really in your pocket and transforming your life in such a simple but profound way.
It's great. Dr. Stillman?
The funny thing is, I think the most compelling thing that I get every day from this is just the testimonials. And like some of the other doctors have said, it's just such an incredible opportunity for people to be part of the healing process, and for the amount of effort that we've put in as doctors to be able to help people, for you to be able to like walk around with this in the palm of your hand, it's just an incredible, incredible blessing for you all to be able to help people like this, because I can tell you, I know what it's like to get results like we see on the patch in my practice. Without the patch, it's a lot of work and effort, and it isn't just $100 a month. So when people pass this up, who I recommend it to, I just think they're totally nuts. They have no idea what they're missing. So enjoy it. Be glad that you got on board.
Very great. Dr. Fitch,
The best way I can say is that this is the most affordable, sexiest, easiest way to get into the stem cell world. So for as low as $99 a month, you turning your stem cells back on, carrying the sun around in your pocket to just wake your body up is just an amazing ability. Medicine will always be there to save the farm, to save the body from completely crashing, but that's not the state that most of us operate in. Most of us operate in a state of chronic inflammation day by day, and we need some kind of chronic ability to combat and buffer against that. And this is by far one of the easiest and most transparent ways to do it.
thank you, Dr. Fitch. Dr. Joe, last words.
I just think this is the most remarkable opportunity that's ever come along in my lifetime to this point, for your health, for your finances. You know, if you choose to work it as a business, I got both my boys involved because they're just finishing up their college careers, and I told them this is better than a 401k or a Roth IRA. I've heard you say, Danny, it's like buying stock in Walmart in 1980. I think it's better than that. I think there's no comparison. And for those that are just willing to try it, they're not going to be disappointed, and they're going to quickly want to share it with others. So I share that piece with almost everyone that I introduced the patch to.
Fantastic. That's well said. Appreciate you, Dr. Joe.
So it's great that, again, we could show over and over and over. The one thing we want to do is have you take a look, at the website. Take a look at thisisinfo.com. When you go to the website, you can see the testimonials tab at the top. You can look on that. You'll see a listing of all these different things that are going on. You can click on those, and they got all these videos in there. And we're adding more and more and more all the time. You can go to the medical doctor section at the bottom. You can see the patent that Amanda was talking about. It's all in the site, so you can take a look at the case studies, everything else. So we're going to talk a little bit more about, from a company standpoint, of how you can take advantage of this, also from an opportunity standpoint, which is pretty huge.
Yeah, so when we got involved, or when Greg used this amazing technology, this patch, we had no idea that LifeWave existed. We found out the company is 20-year-old company. Actually, they're probably 21 years old now.
It was like 18 when we got started.
Yeah. Open in over 75 countries, a little more like 80, because they open in countries as we go. The amazing thing is, at the time that the product was patented, the X39, the company was sitting at 20 million US in revenue, and we closed over 600 million US in 2024. That's growth of over 580 million US in 4 years.
Yeah.
And predicted to close at over $1 billion this year. So we're going places with this. We're sharing, and people are excited to hear about it. People need it. In fact, everyone on the planet needs the X39. So when people hear us talking about it, sharing the product with them, they lean closer. They want to know. We're not sharing a vitamin or a supplement or an oil or shampoo. We're sharing this patch that is changing the trajectory of people's lives. People are getting their quality of life back. And so, all the other products, yes. Do we use any supplements? Yes, we do. But you know what? There's a wide variety. I was drinking collagen shots and using collagen powder. When I walk into CVS or Dis-Chem, there is just packets and packets and packets. I don't know which one
Half
to
the row is
choose.
full of stuff, yeah.
I don't know which one to choose, and I don't know if it's even working for me. And when I found out that this actually increases my own collagen level
Yep.
by 300%, I was like, okay, I don't need the collagen powder anymore, you know. So there's a lot of competition out there with lots of different skincare and weight loss and all types of things. But we have, like Sayi Hernandez says, we have the cookie. We have the cookie.
Yeah, and even her hairdresser's like, she goes, man, she goes, what are you doing with your hair? She goes, her hair's healthier than I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You see the same with skin and hair,
lot
fine
of-
lines, wrinkles to disappearing. It's amazing.
And
I've
it
had people-
grows quickly.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
amazing.
my nails are I'm always needing to trim them because they grow so quickly and
Yeah.
they don't split and they don't break.
Yeah, and we could go on and on and on, but what's great about this is the company itself is growing by leaps and bounds because the product works. And again, it's the fastest growing momentum company in the world as far as any kind of network. So we have won the Bravo Growth Award, which basically is a reward. They take a look at the past 4 years. What's the company that's grown the fastest over the past 4 years? I got to remember, at 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old as a company, they said it's unheard of. They said normally they're always startups. So a startup happens, and then 4 years later, they become basically the fastest growing. Well, we not only won it this year, we won it or last year, we won it again this year. And so even Steve and Gina Merritt are the ones that basically are running with this. They've been involved in this industry for decades. They've helped companies get over basically billions of dollars, and Lily helped a company basically have teams over 1 million people. So that's one of the things that we're doing. We're actually, our goal is by the end of this year to have 1 million people on our whole team for the This Is It team, which is pretty amazing. But how do we get the name This Is It team, which is pretty interesting, or say This Is It? Because Steve Merritt was actually a barefoot water skier, world champion, and actually created a lot of these tricks that these people use today. But of course, his body took a battering because when you're going that fast on a boat and you basically wipe out, it's like falling on concrete. So he had over 13 surgeries, was riddled with all kinds of pain. He was taking handfuls of Excedrin, basically like pain pills. That basically his wife's like, you can't keep on doing this. It's gonna kill you. He goes, I got to keep moving forward. Well, they've got to hold this patch, and within a week, his pain was gone. And his wife's like going, this is it. This is what we've been praying for, because for a year they've been praying for the right company, the right product, the right compensation, the right leadership, like David Schmidt, and they brought in Meredith Burkich, who helped another company go to over $1 billion, and then they basically were praying for God's favor. So now today, the team we have is the fastest growing team within LifeWave, and going to be 1 million strong by the end of this year. It's absolutely phenomenal. So like I said, this year, we actually won again, number one growth company for 2025 as well. So we do different functions. We have different things in person. So we actually have this picture because we were sitting over here. This is the very first function we went to in August of 2023, and we made some big decisions. We said, you know what? We want to build this. We want to help as many people as possible. At the time, we maybe had business in maybe 4 or 5 countries, maybe. And Lily at the point where we're making maybe about, I'm guessing maybe about $400 or $500 a week. Not bad. It was decent, but it was enough to replace my income. We made a decision to say, you know what, we're going to focus on this. And that's exactly what we did. We started focusing on this. I put some other things on the side, say, I'll get to you later, and I'll focus on this. And within 3 months, was able to replace our 6-figure income with the help of my wife, the team, and the people that we were working with. And Lily, several months later, was able to fire my job. Now, again, I don't know what freedom means to you, but that was what I was looking for, because the job that I had was not very good. But this picture has very significance for us, because when we were sitting here, we knew learning from other people who were very successful, what we could do, how we could do it. And the team itself was a little over a year old at that time. And now they've once again grown like crazy. Now we got business in over 40 countries around the world, and we're very excited about that. And our business business and income has quadrupled. So maybe what you can think about yourself, what's most important in your life? What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? What is it you want? For us, the number one thing for us is family. Menace families in South Africa, my family's here in the United States, and we've had a chance because of the freedom that I've got because of my house with my wife and our team and everything else. That last year we went to South Africa 3 different times. We went earlier this year. We're going again, actually, in a few months. So again, just be able to spend time with family, have the quality time, not having to have a leash around your neck. You know, some people who work jobs right now, that's what I felt like. And so once again, having security is a big part of that. I'm not talking about bars and chains on fences and everything. I'm talking about actually financial security. How about traveling? You know, we got friends in here that are specialized in the travel industry. And once again, they want to help people travel. A lot of people just don't have the time to travel. What if you had time? It's pretty awesome. What about better health? You know, once again, you can have all the wealth in the world, but if you don't have your health, that is really so important for people today. And it's made a massive difference for us. And how about less debt? How about zero debt? How about being completely, totally debt-free? We're helping people do that. So whatever it is you do, you want to write down these things. Specifically, what are your goals? Because we're going to talk about income now and really think about what it is you'd like to accomplish. So the one thing is we got basically an order form. Pretty simple. We got an order form that we use for people when we're with people. We basically fill it out. Yes, we got links that people can fill in their information, but it's pretty simple. So a sleeve, which is a 30-day supply, is basically $150 a month retail. But we don't do it at retail. We give to everybody at wholesale. Why? Because we earn points from it. I kind of explained that. So there's really 3 different packages for you to buy this product. The first package basically is where now, if people say, I just want to try the product, they want to experience the power of X39, they now can get a 90-day supply for 1 people, or basically you can get 2 90-day supplies for 2 people. So basically this is just, we want to try it. But also, if you say I want to develop as a business, the power of X39 as a business, you actually want to start here or do what we did as a premium. So this is now less than $100 sleeve. This is only $89 sleeve, and this is even less. So you get, this is the best price for us. We got this specifically. I'm like, what's the biggest pack they have? I want to share this with a bunch of other people. And they said, well, instead of just giving out patches or just giving out sleeves or giving out just individual patches, they said, well, we'd recommend you've got a supply when someone registers that's close to you. Obviously, geographically closer to you. You can meet at a coffee shop or do something like that, and you can lend them one of your sleeves, brand new sleeve, and when their product comes in a week later, they can just give you one back. So we started doing that. So I said, well, let's meet up. And we'd say, people say, well, you want to try the product, right? They go, yeah. So let's get you registered and I'll lend you one of my sleeves. And then let's meet up next week and we'll meet again. You give me one back. We call it a place and replace. So we basically bought the biggest pack for $1,750, got 20 sleeves, didn't have to buy any product for 90 days, which was amazing. I'm going to carry, you get enough points basically to cover you for 90 days. And then we basically started getting, basically 2 sleeves a month from there. But the interesting part about that, we made that money back in 2.5 weeks. How do we do that? Because the first way that we can make money is right here. We basically, when someone registers as a core, you make $35. Someone registers as advanced, you make $75. When someone registers as a premium, you make $405. So we basically signed up several premium, several advanced, several core, and we made that money back in 2.5 weeks. Now we can't guarantee that our very first month we made almost $3,000. So we have a 21-day fast start program that we can help you do the same thing that we did. And we actually implement that and teach people, how to do that. And then what we do is get people set up so they don't run out of product. So for us, our monthly expense is $200 a month. I get a sleeve, she gets a sleeve. She says, you don't touch my sleeve, I won't touch your sleeve, right? So that's all it is. Imagine running a business, an international business around the world. Literally, we have now a multi-million-dollar business running around the world, and our expenses are $200 a month. Think about that for a second. This is not traditional business. This is actually amazing business. So that's what's pretty awesome. So you want to talk about this or talk about the next one?
I'll talk about this.
Okay.
So the question is, well, how is the money made? So there is a compensation plan. We call it a binary compensation plan because we have a left team and a right team. So buy two, a left team, right team, and that's all we do. Like literally, if we just duplicate this, we keep doing those 4 people or yourself. So you have to decide. If you're here and you have not yet decided whether you want to be involved with us, like today's the day, make a decision. Do you want to be a part of this? Do you want to be sharing hope? Because that's literally what we do. We share hope for physical wellness and also for financial blessing. Okay. So we made that decision. We got started. So this is us at the top here. We got our package. We decided to get the biggest package. We understood business. And then we went and shared. Because when you have great things happening or you have something good to share, you're going to talk to your friends. You don't want them to be left out. So we found our 4 that we care for and that we love, and we placed 2 of them on our left team and 2 of them on our right team, because that's the way that we were instructed. That is going to help us max on the comp plan, because there is something called the binary weekly payouts. And in this way of earning, you can max out at $25,000 each week. Yep. Now, it doesn't start there. It's not going to start with 4 people. But if you help one of these on this side to do the same thing you did, just add their 4, and someone on this side add their 4, you're going to keep you're going to be able to grow on that weekly payout on the binary cycles. You're going to be able to get paid more as you go. So we just duplicated this. We keep duplicating it. It's the same thing every day. 3 years ago, we started this way. We're still doing the same thing today.
Yeah, and this becomes the building block if you understand that from this standpoint. Now, again, they recommend you can put as many as you want. We've personally sponsored over 200 people personally, put maybe about 100 to the left, 100 to the right, and that's what so you're not limited to that. So what really happens from a standpoint is that you become a manager, you now can make up to $1,500 a week. That's basically 2 people are right, 2 people left personally. We always recommend a lot more than that, but basically now what happens, it starts to making 100 and 200 and 300 and starts growing from there. Now when you have a manager on the right, because you have a person on the right, this person over here goes, I want to be a manager. This person says, I want to be a manager. Now what happens, you become a director, you make up to $2,500 a week. Again, it just keeps on growing. This is when significant income started making for us personally. So as senior director, we started making over $1,000 a week residual when we hit senior director. And it started growing from there. We're like, this is getting really excited. Imagine making an extra $4,000 a month, right? $4,000 or $5,000 a month. Now what happened is what was able to fire my job when we hit this level here as executive level, we were making over $2,500 a week. Now understand that once again, and then 6 weeks later, we hit the presidential rank here. So we had a group volume of our total team of over 50,000 points, went to over 100,000 points. And then last October, almost a year ago, we hit that senior presidential director. It's the highest rank of the whole company. We've never had anything like this. And so we were like blown. People were going, my goodness, you haven't passed. We can't stop sharing people. Now we're helping people do this. So we had a guy this next month actually going to be hitting this level. We got other people hitting presidential this next month, hitting executive. We got tons of different levels. And our goal is to help everybody get to the top here. Why? Because there's the biggest way we make money is the one that my wife got really excited about is this unlimited income potential.
Yeah, so we showed you that you can max out at $25,000 a week, the one way of making money, which is great. Nobody's going to say no to $25,000 a week. That's 1.3 million a year. Great opportunity there. But when I saw this matching bonus, and it is unlimited income potential, so there's no cap on that. And you get paid off of your first, second, and third generations. So, for example, we signed up Graham and Anne. They are first generation to us. So if they're making $25,000 a week, we're getting paid $6,250 a week. They then went and shared with Andre and Angelique, and they second generation to us. We get paid off, we get 20% off of what they do every single week. It's not once a month, it's every single week you get paid of first and second generation. Third generation signed up Anna and Maxime, we get 20% off of that. And so on. So no matter where your first, second, and third generation are, your third generation, your first generation could be sitting at number 58, like Andy Hosier is for Ken and Diana Burke, and be maxing out at the 25,000. You're still getting paid. Yeah. So that to me, I just got blown away, and I just started to think, my goodness, this is such an absolute blessing, because everybody, the team together, everybody is building each other up, and everybody, we can only make more if we're helping our team to do something. So we are vested in what they're going to do. We have an interest in what they're going to do. And that's why we are here to help. It's teamwork, because we go nowhere without the team.
No. And they really now are calling this a mentorship matching bonus, which is really what it is. But there are people that are making over $100,000 a week because of this. So if you understand that, now again, we throw out some big numbers, but I want you to understand. Sorry, go ahead.
It all depends on your ambition level. Yep. Like, do you really want this? Because if you have a strong why that you cannot live without, then this can be as big as you want it to be.
Yeah, exactly. So, and we would say, how about even narrow it down a little bit? So if you could make an extra $1,000 a month, or in South Africa, make an extra 18 to 20,000 Rand per month, would that make a difference in your household right now? Whether you get paid pounds or get paid euros or whatever, it's going to transfer to whatever it is. But think about that from a standpoint. What if we could help you make an extra $1,000 or 20,000 Rand a week? Right? And what if down the road, if you could get $1,000 a day, right? I mean, that's where we're at, making a lot more than that. And if you understand, all we're trying to explain to you is, again, all we're doing is exposing it to people and sharing it. And that's why the person invited you today. So again, we recommend getting back together with them, find what works best for you, and basically pick the kit that works best for you. Everything has a 30-day money-back guarantee. There's no risk. So even if you have the biggest pack, you can try it out for 30 days. If you're not completely satisfied, you get your money back. We tell people it's not going to happen, because when you start using it, you'll start seeing results, which is huge. So again, we can go to This Is It Info, or also go to This Is It Team, and This Is It Team is the team site, and there's even a tab on there that says LifeWave Compensation Plan. So if you want to go through the nitty gritty of the numbers, exactly how it works, there's a couple of videos on there from the top leaders of the company that basically learn exactly what to do. So there's also launch events. So even like tonight here in the United States, there's an event at 8 o'clock, another one at 10 o'clock, different Zoom meetings that you can tie into. There's one for the UK, which is basically 8 p.m. British
Tuesday time, British Standard Time, and which South Africa, Europe can tie into into that. Also, the USA can. So, you know what? No one's going to miss out. There is an opportunity meeting for absolutely everybody on every single day. And if you have Spanish speaking only, they're doing them Monday through Friday, every single night. So if you don't speak Spanish, tie your Spanish people in there. They'll get the same presentation that we're showing you here. Otherwise, connect to YouTube if you miss anything, because Saturday is training day. We had the most amazing training with Penny Cogdill on Saturday. She's just amazing, and everybody's saying, if Penny can do this, I can do it. Well, true. If we can do it, you can do it.
Same thing.
So you want to get on, you want to go to youtube.com and you want to go look for the recording if you miss Saturday's training. The other thing is tie in with the Facebook page. There's also podcasts that you can listen to. So don't miss out. Everybody's on the same playing level. Everybody gets the same information, and that's how we're building a strong community.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So to wrap up here, there's a couple of things that we talk about. We have incentive trips, and we've won 7 free trips in the past 18 months. Now let's.
I heard somebody say.
So what's amazing about this is that, once again, you can qualify. There's a free cruise right now. We got 4 weeks left in the contest here. But anyone on here, if you say, hey, how do I win a free cruise? Actually, they'll fly you to Miami. This is for Europe. This is for South Africa. This is for Australia, New Zealand, anywhere in those areas, plus the United States, Canada, Mexico. You can qualify for this trip out of Miami, which is absolutely fantastic. We got all kinds of different trainings because there's a whole system behind this. As soon as the first thing I looked at, I said, thank God there's a system. So they have something actually in Anaheim, California, which is going to be over 10,000 people there in October, and then that Sunday right after that, Steve and Gina are going to put on a training like they've never seen before, of all the leaders speaking and teaching 15-minute segments of each person teaching what they're doing, how they're doing it, and how people are making more money they've ever had in their entire life. So it's just by impacting people's lives. It's not just about money. It's about, once again, impacting people's lives. And the more people you help, the more you be blessed. So again, they got All In is in Las Vegas at the beginning of January. This is a virtual event, but there's up to only 500 people can fit to be there in person. Men and I are going to be there in person. We got a bunch of people on our team going to be there in person. They've got a couple tickets left right now for people in person, but you can scan that QR code and actually watch it online wherever you are around the world. And next year in Orlando, August 7th through 9th, they're going to have, we had over 5,000 people at that event, and I don't know how many thousands of people watching online. Our goal is over 10,000 people at this Unstoppable event, actually in person, which is going to be great. So again, you can tie into this. We can tell you more about this as well. But the thing is, we need to finish up real quick is, once again, really is now the time to make your move. You say, you know what, this sounds like a fantastic product. I want to try this. Well, you and I don't want to try it, but you want to share it. And so really, if you're serious about your dreams, there really is hope for your future. We tell people we're hope dealers, not dope dealers. It was one of the first doctors talked about that. He said, Dr. Dodge said, this is really giving people hope, which is pretty amazing. And so we tell people, get started today. And the last thing we'll mention once again is that you look at these pictures here, right? Pictures of family, destinations, things like that. But imagine being here. Once again, it's one thing when you talk about a pictures with 1,000 words, right? A video is worth 1,000 pictures, but an experience is worth 1,000 videos. So the biggest thing we tell people is we want you to experience this product. So we want you to experience the product yourself. As you experience it, it makes a huge difference. So again, we got to go because we got another training that we're doing.
And if you have the link for the other training you want to be on, because we are going to be hearing from a couple that are #1 ranked for the Bahamas trip. They have 224 points in 5 weeks.
Yeah, you only need 125 points.
So we are going to be hearing from them how they did that.
Yeah,
they're on the cruise already twice over now.
So they're on our team, and we're very blessed that they said they'd give us some time today. So we're going to be sharing that. So again, the one thing that I always tell people to wrap up here is, once again, there's a lot of uncertainties in this world today. Obviously, there's a lot of things going on in our world, but the one thing we know for certain is this is it. So God bless you guys. Have a great night. Have a great day. And once again, if you can jump on the training, get on that if you want to learn more about how we build this as a team. So bless you. It's been great sharing with you. Take care. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.